Hello everyone, I'm Todd Sumney, the Chief Industry Officer for HomeSmart International, and thank you for joining us today on the Real Estate Podcast. Last week on our podcast, we had a session entitled Reality Check, the one phrase that will win you the listing every time. And as a guest on the podcast, we had Raul Gavar from Agulo.com, who showed us some amazing examples of virtual tours and how you can use virtual tours to keep someone's home open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and really leverage that in a listing appointment. If you didn't see the podcast, please go back, watch last week's podcast, because there was some really powerful information in that as well. We also talked about how Raul uses his business card with a QR code to send people right into a virtual tour right away. And it just is a great way to win more listings and win more business. Well, we continued our conversation last week, and I'd like to pick up where we left off last week. We continued our conversation talking about 5 reasons why real estate professionals really need to start using virtual reality every single day in their business. Not just have it be, something that, other people do or something that maybe I'll do someday. I really urge all of you to try it on your next 5 listings. And in this second part of the podcast series, we're going to show you 5 major reasons why you should do this on your next 5 listings and really make it part of your marketing toolbox. So without any further ado, I'd like to pick up where we left off last week with Raul Gavar from Agulo and myself, Todd Sumney from HomeSmart. So let's dig in just a little bit deeper here on the podcast here about let's break it down into 5 areas or 5 reasons why real estate professionals should really look at this seriously instead of thinking, that's only for expensive homes, only that's for or higher priced homes, and no, I don't need to do that, or that's too complicated, right? Yeah. There's so many benefits and it's not complicated. A phone call, an email, and it's taken care of. So, let's talk about reasons why someone should do this. So up on the screen, I have a screen right now. It says convenience. And convenience when you're selling, convenience when you're buying. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure, yeah. So convenience when you're selling, you talked about it, and that was the magic question. 24-hour open house. What if I can keep your house open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with fewer inconveniences? Think about the value that provides to some of your higher net worth clients, or even clients who just have a very crazy, high-paced lifestyle. You're able to show and have people walk through that house, experience that listing without inconveniencing the owners there. They can have the toys out, the dog running around. Now you can avoid all those issues. Now, what about the buying side? Well, buyers actually representing agents who are representing buyers can also use this technology because it's a more efficient way for them to show their client in a very transparent manner a ton of listings. You sit them down, you bring them to your office, get them in a comfortable chair with or without the VR headsets. You show them a bunch of listings that you have in a 360 format. In a matter of 30 minutes or so, you can go through more listings than you could, than the time it would take you to drive to the first one. So
right.
Really more efficient.
So I was just recently up in Seattle, up in the Seattle area, visiting all our offices up there, doing some marketing meetings up there. Love all you guys up in Seattle. It was an awesome week. But the traffic or the city as a whole is a very unique city because it's spread out. I mean, they have waterways they have to deal with and and bridges and different things. And so sometimes people are commuting a tremendous distance, from where they live to where they work, just because you do have the waterfront, the Puget Sound right there. So, they have to spread out throughout the city. So the agents were all talking about how they'll show properties in different areas and how listings are scarce. So they're working with a lot of buyers, but it is. Buyers take more time, especially when you add a 1-hour drive in. And in a 1-hour drive one direction, maybe there's another house that's a 1-hour drive the other direction, and that's where I see something like these virtual tours, really saving time and helping people narrow down. And we're going to show in a minute, we're going to show an example where you're even doing it outside the home. Yep. You're out in front of the home in the neighborhood so people can see what's around them. So I think it could help in all cases. I think you could be showing buyers different homes, different neighborhoods, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people can relate to the point where you just walk into the home with a buyer, the pictures look great. As soon as you walk into the home, it's not what they were expecting,
Right.
and they know that, and they can decide that. Why would you waste that time driving there? So it's just about convenience.
Exactly, and they can literally walk through the whole home. They can turn around from the waist, like you said, and experience it.
Yeah.
And it really helps narrow it down then to a short list. And okay, now let's go see this home. It's worth the hour drive.
It makes sense, yeah. And it's convenience for your clients, both buyers and sellers, but also for the real estate professional.
Exactly. So number one, convenience. Number two, though, let's talk about experience. What's the experience that happens out of doing this?
Well, by definition, virtual reality is basically a digitally simulated experience where a user is able to be transported into something that's not actually there. And the reason why this becomes so important is we look at information like the one you have here on the screen. People remember 10% of what they read, 20% of what they see, but 90% of what they experience. And that's really powerful because when we're trying to be memorable, when we have listings that we want shoppers to remember and eventually put an offer for, we want to make sure that they're experiencing that listing. That's why we have open houses. And we're just translating that into virtual and removing the limitations that are around having someone walk in through the door at an open house.
Right. So, point number one then is convenience. Point number two, experience, because it's an immersive experience and it's emotional.
Yeah.
Number three, though, efficiency. So, this system tracks what they're viewing, how long they're staying in a room, how many times they share it with their mother-in-law, father-in-law, or everybody else, right? So talk about that a little bit. Talk about efficiency.
Well, we live in a data-driven time where everything's being tracked, and the name of the game is just understanding your clients. So our technology allows real estate professionals to be able to track, like you were saying, if someone accesses your tour, we have a feature that's a lockbox feature, really cool. You can put that on your listing, just turn it on, and now you're able to limit the access. So you can have your tour open to anyone, or you can put this lockbox feature in, and now anyone who wants to come into your listing virtually is tracked. And once they do that, we're able to use that as a lead intake, and then you're able to collect information.
I saw that this morning on one of the demos when I was going through preparing for the podcast. It required me to put some information in and do some other things before I could actually get into the virtual tour.
Yep. So
you could put a lock. I didn't know you could do that. That's pretty cool.
So that's what we call our lockbox feature, and we're always innovating. We're always rolling out cool new features because we listen to our users and we know what they want. And this is just one of those powerful features that lets us track the viewing behavior because actions speak louder than words. If someone's spending, they may say in a negotiation, "I'm not very interested, but we'll put in an offer." But you're seeing that they opened that tour and they visited all the rooms in the house and they spent over an hour looking at everything, but they tell you they're not interested, gives you a little bit of an edge when it comes to negotiation.
Yeah, because wait a minute, you've spent an hour and also you've forwarded this off 20 different times, and
you are interested.
I want to dig down into one little thing that I saw was really powerful. It even tracks how often they view each room.
Yeah.
So when someone's literally spending 20 minutes, a half an hour in the kitchen, and they're clicking on every appliance. Okay, so this is a Viking stainless steel oven. It's a Viking stainless steel microwave. It's the refrigerator, etc. And if they spend an hour in the kitchen, that kind of tells me kitchen's pretty important to this
They
customer.
might be a little bit more interested than they might lead you to believe.
Exactly. So I thought that was really powerful, even tracking in and how they view each room. Again, we have number one, convenience. Number two, it's an immersive, amazing experience that has a 90% remembrance rate. Number three, efficiency. Let's talk number four. Let's talk customization. And we touched on this a minute ago when you were showing kind of a before and after. But talk about how VR helps sell the vision of a home.
Well, we've all been in those difficult situations where there's a house and it could use a little sprucing up, a little love TLC when it comes to the color of the walls, the breakdown, etc. And as real estate professionals, sometimes there's the difficulty in communicating that vision to the end user. So our technology allows us to put those tools in the hands of the real estate agent.
Right.
And we do this through...
Or the home you were just showing a minute ago that wasn't even finished.
Exactly.
Right?
So,
and you're showing it at that point where it's still under construction.
Huge. So what we can offer is we can take either floor plans and put a property on a dirt lot, or we can take a house that needs a little bit of work and show what that renovation could look like, or a full-blown gut and remodel, knock down the house, put something up there. But now you're not selling what's there, you're selling the vision. And it's transparent because we disclose that, hey, this is what it could be. But the people walking through that listing virtually are able to imagine and visualize what could be there.
Well, and they see it before, but then they see it, the after. And I think one of the things staging homes, is something that we all know how powerful it is and how much that works when you're helping both to sell homes quickly as well as to sell them for maximum value, right?
Yeah.
So this is a way maybe even to stage some listings for a fraction of the cost of actually doing a normal, full-blown staging. But again, you're doing it honestly because you're showing before and after. You have a fixer-upper. It's a great little idea for that. Or now here's the thing I want to dig into a little bit. And then I want to talk about a live experience that I had with you guys on this too, but a floor plan of the listing. So how does the agent actually get a floor plan done?
This is great. Yeah.
How does the agent get the floor plan done if they want the floor plan service of, and let's say that there's a footprint. What do they have to do? They have to go hire an architect then to do the after? Like, how is the after created?
Well, that's a great question. We get this a lot.
So floor plan, and how do they do the after?
So we have a team of 3D artists, graphic designers, and just a team of interior designers, architects, people who are working in the digital space. So you don't have to provide that as a listing agent. We want to help you sell efficiently. So by someone walking through a listing, a property with a 360 camera, which is what the basis of a tour is, taking those pictures, our team is able to take the data that no one sees within those pictures and be able to collect the information about the space and size of that room. So this is really cool. You can set the camera in the middle of the room, takes a picture, but now we know the dimensions of that room. And so our team takes that data and then is able to generate a floor plan, and then our graphic designers make it look really nice, add your colors, but it's really something unique.
That's amazing, because we actually had you do that here at our home office at HomeSmart. Yep. And I was shocked at how accurate the floor plan was and how everything, but also one of my neighbor, Kelly, she had a listing that is an amazing listing. Like, she's so excited to work with this homeowner because it's in a very sought after section of town in our area. And a lot of, it's a gated community area. It's in town. It's in a desirable area, but it's just a great neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And
a lot of
so just there. A lot of potential. And I mean, let's just say, beautiful homes. But this listing in this area, it has a lot of potential, and maybe even some potential with a lot next door. Also, where if somebody wanted to purchase both of them and make a big, huge compound or something, there were just lots of opportunities. So Kelly held a broker open house.
Yeah. And
she invited all these different brokers and agents all over to view the property after she got the listing. But beforehand, she had worked with you and your team to kind of highlight some of the opportunities that this amazing property, because homes don't go up for sale in this area very often. So she wanted to highlight what the possibility could be. And your team created a virtual tour. So I want to go, can we go live?
Yes, let's pull this up.
Pull that up. And I think that's where I was talking, where you even went out, you showed the front of the home from the outside. And then you had, your team actually did some of the renderings and pulled it together and created this really.
So this is kind of Kelly came to me and said, knowing that what we do, and as a HomeSmart partners, she had a vision. She has this listing, and you described it perfectly, where she wanted to communicate a vision. What would happen if someone took this beautiful house, dated but beautiful, and added the lot next to it. And what would it look like if it was just completely torn down and something new was built there? What would it look like if it was just remodeled? Basically giving us, anyone walking through the listing, an idea of what we could do. So we took that, we took our vision and ran with it. And we rendered in 360 what that lot would look like with a complete new build.
Right.
Really cool. So we used our team of a team in-house of architects and interior designers and 3D artists to generate this 360 of a property that could take that full footprint of that property and actually do it justice.
I love it. I want to sit there in the front courtyard right there with the fire pit or whatever right there. I love it.
just to remind you guys that before what we were working with.
Yeah.
So pretty significant difference.
That is a very significant difference.
And to take it, beyond. So what if someone was interested in the lot, but maybe didn't want to do a full gut? They just want to maybe remove some walls. So you see, we're in this interesting room here, multiple elevations, kind of this interesting opening here.
Right.
What would it look like if we just remodeled it? So, sure, we were able to do that too and show Kelly, hey, this is what we put together. Now imagine people walking through an open house.
Right.
They're putting on the VR headset, looking at it on the phone, on the computer, but now they're able to experience the space that they're standing in, but with a different finish, something remodeled.
Right, so they could see the possibilities.
Exactly.
Right?
It was really powerful.
So did the brokers love it? Did the agents love it?
We had investors, developers, agents, families come in, and everyone absolutely loved it. They really understood the technology, and it was really refreshing to hear all the feedback. Why aren't people not doing this anymore? Like, this should be a standard, and it goes back to that.
So did they actually even put on the goggles and stuff?
Yes,
and do
of
the whole
course.
thing,
Yeah, we had on the computer, we had on the phone, but they were putting on the goggles. They were experiencing the property, and it really transported them to. We were saying this is like going into the future, and it really was, because depending on what the end goal is or what they end up doing, that is actually what could be there in a matter of a few months.
Right.
So it's
that's awesome. Cool. All right. So point 1, convenience. Point 2, experience. Point 3, efficiency. Point 4, customization, like what we just saw. Let's talk about the last one here, exposure. So exposure for the agents. One of the things that if somebody is spending an hour in a tour on a kitchen or in a home, right, they're seeing the agent's branding and their information over and over and over and over again. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, as you guys might have seen, Kelly's face was, her headshot was on the top left corner of the screen. The HomeSmart logo was on the floor. So it really comes down to branding and branding your team. Ogulo wants to be the tech partner and the silent sniper in the back. We're really there helping power your listings. And to take that a step further, we want to make it so that it's a white label solution. So all our tours, everything that you put out there is going to have your logo, it's going to have your colors, your headshot, your contact information, and you can even do a custom URL where it's like instead of saying Ogulo Tour, it's going to be HomeSmart Tour and the name of the property. Those things really help in long term with SEO,
right.
But it just brings it around full circle to stay top of mind.
Right. So. I love it. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to flash a couple things up on the screen for everyone who's watching. If you want some information or you want some HomeSmart special attention, I know we also have non-HomeSmart agents listening to the podcast, but I guess anybody can get the special attention. If you're listening to the podcast, just go to this URL. You'll open it up to everybody, right?
Yeah, we'll take care of you.
All right, so go to ogulo.com, which is ogulo.com /HomeSmart. And there you can kind of see a landing page, I guess, that kind of has information. It has a couple little videos that people can watch.
A little sample.
A little sample. And then it's got some areas where they can click to get some help, get somebody to call them. Again, I want to reiterate, one way to do it is to do it just completely turnkey. They do it for you. All you do is say, hey, I want somebody to help me do this. And then another way is if you want to try doing them yourself, you can, purchase there's a camera and a monopod and you can do the virtual tours yourself. Just put the camera in the middle of the room, take the photos, and then send all that in to the service or stitch it together, learn how to do it. But I know with a lot of you agents, you're just so busy, it's almost easier to have someone do it for you. So if you're a heavy hitter and you're really technologically savvy, or you're a photographer and you want to do these yourself, call Ogulo. They'll help you learn how to do them by yourself. But if you want to just have them do it, you'll take care of it. So One of the other ways you can do it is you can just send an email to homesmart@ogulo.com. So homesmart@ogulo.com, and in the subject line just say, I want this. And then you will get in touch with someone, or someone will get in touch with them. Now, here's the thing: don't just send an email and then don't do anything. If you're gonna do it, I mean, go send the email, get some information. But I urge you to try it. I guess is really, when I look at marketing things, I'm not trying to sell you anything ever doing these podcasts or these marketing sessions that we do. But we do want you to get results. Yeah. And when I interview agents and I hear the stories about winning a $2.2 million listing, and it's not just that. When I've heard others, I mean, even, firsthand experience of winning listings and being successful, it makes good financial sense. And so I know that somebody out there right now is asking about the price. Well, what's this cost? Is this $3,000? What is it? But so I'll let you answer that in a second. But I guess my big thing is when I do these podcasts and I'm looking and I'm talking to you about branching out and getting out of your comfort zone and doing something that you really should do to win more business, I always go back to a marketing budget. Like as an agent, if I'm not willing to put any money into marketing, my business isn't going to grow as fast. Now, I know at the beginning, when you're a newer agent, sometimes you don't have a budget, but you have time. So then there's other things you can do. You go do open houses, you do some other things to win business. But then once you start to get business, you should reinvest back in it. And reinvesting just a little bit of money, my challenge to somebody would be, I would challenge you to try doing a virtual tour on the next 5 listings you have. No matter what the price point, even if it's a $160,000 home, or if it's a lot that you're selling, because then you can potentially show the home that could be on it. Right? Yeah. And you begin to build a portfolio that you can choose to use with other agents. And let's just say that costs, you're going to talk price. I don't even know the price in a minute, so I'm scared of what to say. But let's just say it's a couple $100 a piece for each one, times 5. Okay, I get that back if I one transaction. Yeah. So what if I end up getting 6 more transactions because of doing this marketing? Yeah. That's where I see real estate agents being smart marketers. They invest in the right things. They don't waste money, but they don't always. They do invest. Yeah. They invest a little bit of marketing budget. So I know I was babbling. Sorry about that, everyone, but I wanted to get all that out because I do want to encourage you to do this on your next 5 listings. So if an agent wanted to do this on 5 listings, or what's their next listing, what's it cost?
That's a great question, Todd, and you'd be surprised that it's actually less than you were thinking. So you could get Ogulo for as low on our, just starting off, if you have 5 listings, for about $11 per listing per month. And that is the cost that it would, to host a tour, to have it on there. And then from there, you have the option to either opt for the having us taking care of the tour, and then we'll send a photographer. The price of that depends on the size of the house, but you're looking at anywhere, under between $70 and $100 for a 3,000 square foot house. Gets you through the door. You pay the $11 per that listing for every month it's out live, and it just really makes sense because when it comes to the ROI, like you were talking about, whether it's your time or your just what you're putting towards that listing, the marketing is going to be the biggest thing that's going to determine how quickly you get that back.
Right. So if I just had using a round number, let's say I have a 3,000 square foot house, an approximate cost on that is going to vary from a low end to a high end on just having the photographer come out, do everything, and create the tour.
Yes.
Approximate cost on that.
So if
low to high.
Yeah, so you're looking for at anywhere between $80 and $100 for a 3,000 square foot listing. We come in, our team takes care of everything.
That's it?
Beginning to end. Yep.
That's it? I would have thought, okay, all right. Yeah, I'm not acting, everyone. This is really, I would have thought, okay, even like $200 or, $300, it'd still be worth it. So that's amazing. Okay. And then, it's a little bit to host it every month, but then hopefully you're going to sell the homes quickly and you're only going to pay, 2 months of hosting or whatever. You're going to sell the home anyway. So, well, that's phenomenal. Okay, so let's talk the rendering though, and I know that has to vary widely.
Yep.
But let's say somebody comes in, they take photographs, so you have the floor plan, you generate a floor plan. What does that cost?
Floor plans are about $30 per listing.
Okay.
And again, that's really accessible. And you'd be surprised because something really cool is that because we have everything in house, we're able to pass along those savings, so rather than outsourcing that, and we're able to give these items back with a quick turnaround. So that's really important.
Okay, so how about the renderings though?
So renderings. So if you want to just do a virtual staging,
well, I'll do before and after. Okay, well, go ahead.
Yeah. Virtual staging is literally you have an empty house, a second home that just needed to get some
like
furniture.
The one we were showing with the drywall.
Exactly.
And then you got to put
just
stuff in there.
Adding furniture in there.
Yeah.
That is $279.
Okay.
And that's per room. So if you have a room or like a great room where you have the kitchen and the living room, that's still one room because that's what you can capture in one 360 image.
Right.
So we make it really affordable because you're comparing that to traditional staging.
Right.
And just for regular 3,000 square foot house, not staging all the rooms, the main areas, you could look upwards of $4,000. So, and we know that because that's what we've done it ourselves.
Right.
If you want to do a full blown renovation, where you do something like what we did with Kelly, where you're putting a new build there, where you're knocking down walls, you're changing flooring, all this. We'll do that plus the virtual staging for $369. Okay. And these are rough numbers. You can just to kind of give you guys an idea.
No,
it's
but
really accessible.
But at those prices, I do ask the same question that the brokers were asking when they came through that, Kelly's Open is like, why isn't this a standard? Why aren't we doing this on everything? Because, man, what a way to really differentiate yourself and to build a portfolio that when you go meet with prospective sellers, even when you're working with buyers, because you're helping them now go see properties without having to get in a car and go drive, and it just raises your level of professionalism and brand. It raises your brand.
It really does.
Image, right?
Yeah, right. It really does. And then one last thing I'd like to add is the fact that we have this all in house. We become your marketing and sales secret weapon, and that's where I can't emphasize that enough. Everything that we can offer, you can get, and it's through other vendors and all that. But you're getting all this through us, through a partnership with HomeSmart, and it really becomes a powerful sales tool that's white labeled so that everyone face of the world will, it'll help you sell smarter and faster, get more listings, but it'll also look like it's a custom product that only you have and only you have to offer.
Right. Okay, so everybody out there, grab your mobile phone real quick, and I want you to go check out a quick little demo. So if you go to tour.agulo.com /Z433. So Z is in zebra, 433. So tour.agulo.com /Z433. An example tour will come up, and you can see what a virtual tour would look like right there on your mobile phone, on your customer's mobile phone. And just if you have does that work if they have goggles?
It will, yeah. They'll have to go and click VR mode and just turn that on.
Okay.
But yeah, that's right there. And then my contact info will pop up because we're partners with HomeSmart. I personally want to make myself available. My email's on there. Contact me. I'd love to answer any questions and really help you get started because we love this technology. We know that it's powerful, and you just got to try it.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, so one of the other things we want to do here on the Real Estate Podcast is I want to start to make them a little bit more interactive with you all. My email address is tsumney, T as in Todd, SUMNEY, @homesmart.com. And give me your feedback. Give me your feedback here. I can share it with Raul as well. Let me know what you thought about today's podcast. Let me know what you thought about the actual, the examples we showed and the concepts we talked about. That's why, I love the title of today's class, Reality Check, the one phrase that'll win you the listing every time. I really do know that does work. And I think just that the exploration of virtual reality and doing it versus just having it be a figment of imagination, right?
Yeah.
Actually get out there and try it. I challenge you all, try this on your next 5 listings and see what results you get. So thank you all for joining us today on the Real Estate Podcast. I'm Todd Sumney, the Chief Industry Officer for HomeSmart International, and Raul, thank you for being here today. Thank you for Agulo, and onward and upward. Please tune into other podcasts. The next one you'll see come up, be posted very shortly. But thank you for joining us here today, and we'll see you next time around.